Sherman says that Kaepernick could start for 20 NFL teams. Doesn't even realize that he's not even a mediocre quarterback.
Somebody needs to check and see what he's smoking on up in Washington, because I don't think it's 20 teams I think he can start, but I do think it's 10, and I do think he's being blackballed.
Alright, how about this? Did you hear about Richard Sherman saying that Colin Kaepernick could start for 20 NFL teams? What do you think of that?
That's pretty amazing. I don't think it's 20 NFL teams is that bad.
He agrees with you that Kaepernick's being blackballed.
Oh, yes, he's definitely being blackballed. Because there are at least 7 or 8 teams that I think he could start for right now.
Okay, let's go through the league real quick, because I can do that. NFC West, the Niners, he should have never left. Correct. You agree with that?
Yes,
he's got Kyle Shanahan coming in. He should have been like, oh, I'll play for you guys for $17 million.
Well, I don't know about all that, but he's going to live to regret that, because ain't no other team giving him $17 million. Whoever it was his agent and told him to opt out of that deal.
New agent.
He should be fired.
This is a new agent.
And sued.
What? He hired this new guy. I guess it was the old agent's fault that he's in this situation to begin with.
Whatever. It's a class example. What may hit a fool in his money, may they soon part.
Hey, maybe Sherman can invite him to Seattle, because I saw this on the bottom line. Trevon Boykin, their backup quarterback, he was in the car with some chick who was drunk and she crashed into a bar.
Wow.
That guy's got some baggage.
That's right.
It's not Kaepernick baggage, but...
But I think we was having a discussion about who he could still start for, not being a backup for.
Rams, no, because they have Jared Goff.
Okay.
Cardinals, Carson Palmer.
Yes.
What?
He could probably, at this stage of Carson
You would rather have Kaepernick than Carson Palmer?
If we're talking about the Carson Palmer of last year, I just might. He wasn't all that great last year.
He was injured.
Well, you know what? He's getting
Kaepernick was the 31st ranked passer in the league.
Okay, well.
Brock Osweiler and Ryan Fitzpatrick were the only two that were worse.
No, but you got to look at Kaepernick. What do you have? 16 touchdowns and only
4 picks.
4 picks.
Garbage time.
But garbage time, not your whole team. The whole game was garbage time. You know, they trying to make his stats worse than what he was. He had better stats than a whole lot of quarterbacks.
When he was great, his great seasons,
yes,
they were 31st in pass efficiency. When he was great.
Yes. But guess what? That was just offense they was running. You guys had a good running game and all this kind of stuff. Your defense was great.
The best offensive line in football at the time.
The thing is, everything that happened to the 49ers last year and the year before that wasn't all because of him. It was a lot of the decisions that the coaching, all kind of stuff that was going on in the you know, up in the
when they were good, he sucked.
Well, good and winning. How do you say? Sometimes you can get away with sucking when you're good or when you're winning. Winning cures a lot of stuff, and if
it gives people a perception problem.
Well, if I recall,
he became the highest selling jersey.
If I recall back then when he was winning,
all
the 49er fans back there, they was doing the Kaepernick arm pump.
Not this one.
Well, maybe not you, but I remember you guys. You guys was all happy about. You was happy about Kaepernick, and then when your team started going south and stuff, everybody started making him the scapegoat for what was transpiring over in San Francisco when it was an implosion of everything went on. The whole place like blew up around him.
It was an ownership problem.
Well, it wasn't all I'm saying, it wasn't all his fault. Now, take it, I was glad it was happening, but I don't think it was all his fault.
See, AFC West, who's he going to start there?
Nobody.
Broncos, they need a quarterback.
They
did draft Paxton Lynch first round.
He could have potentially...
Remember, there was interest last year in trading for him, but...
He could have potentially started for them.
That's because the Broncos probably wanted us to pay for that contract. They're not going to pay for him.
You don't have to pay for him now.
Well, they're not signing him.
But he's a free agent. And now, since he's a free agent, you can negotiate for whatever price you want to get him for.
I'd rather have Paxton Lynch and Trevor Siemian.
Because you're a 49er fan who's hating on Kaepernick because you one of them who blamed him for everything that was happening. But in reality...
I don't blame him for everything. I just know he's not very good.
Well, I'm not saying he's great. Well, I'm just saying there is a spot for him in the NFL, and he's being blackballed.
When you're on a bad team, who's the most popular player on the team?
The backup quarterback.
Yeah. And you think a guy with a media firestorm craze like this guy is going to come in? How's that going to work for business? Most NFL fans are conservative, right? You agree with that?
To some extent.
So there's going to be...
Yeah.
No, agree. That's just a fact. 19 the NFL teams, that the states that they play in were Trump states, right? So you're going to have this guy come in and literally divide the fan base for the backup quarterback. Is that a good idea?
If he wins,
oh, how's he done?
If he come in and he gets a starting job, all of them red states out there, they'd become blue if he started winning. Winning in sports.
3-16.
Sports ain't like politics.
3-16.
Sports is not like politics. If you winning, they look. Remember. In Pittsburgh, they looked the other way when they let a rapist start for him. If you can let that rapist, which is known as Rothenberg, be your starting quarterback and people there revere him.
I thought you were going to say Michael Vick.
Oh, Michael Vick
but he was
let some dogs fight
he was
each
the
other.
Well, he was the backup quarterback, though. He wasn't going anywhere.
Michael Vick was not the backup quarterback.
For the Steelers? For 1 year.
Oh, well, I'm just talking about when that happened to him. Okay.
What was I going to say?
Do another division.
The NFC North, Lions, no. Vikings, no. They got Bradford and Bridgewater. Packers, of course, not. Bears.
He could probably get in there and where Bridgewater and them is and fight them for a starting. Bridgewater's nothing.
Well, he's injured anyway.
I'm just saying he could have a shot at that job.
The Bears just gave Mike Glennon $15 million, and they just signed Mark Sanchez.
And you gonna tell me that Kaepernick wouldn't have a chance there?
I mean, he would, but you don't want I'm talking about the baggage. We're talking about the baggage. It's not worth a backup quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger is a Hall of Fame talent.
Baggage.
Like I told you, Roethlisberger, Rodgers, Russell Wilson. You said it might be a race issue. If Cam Newton took a knee for the national anthem, they wouldn't cut him.
They just might.
They would not.
He's catching a lot of criticism.
Right,
coming
go back
to
Cam Newton's. I would take him, but he's not elite. Russell Wilson's elite, and he's black. If he need for the national anthem, Seattle ain't cutting him.
I'll tell you what.
Especially that liberal city.
Up in Seattle, get out of here. If he need for that, did something like... I'm just saying, if he came up with something else with controversial like that, they turn on him in a heartbeat.
Russell Wilson?
They turn on him.
I thought you were just talking about winning cures all.
Well, let's see. I guess they are winning.
Yeah.
But... You're right. It might cure a little bit. They might They might turn the cheek the other way.
That's all I'm trying to say is Kaepernick is not worth it. 31st ranked passer.
But some of these a lot of these
3-19 in his last 20 starts.
Miserable Bears.
Yeah.
The bad news Bears.
Exactly.
Who done actually stuck with. Who was that quarterback they just got? Cutler.
The guy that nobody wants.
Cutler for 10, 11
Nobody
years.
wants Jay Cutler.
And you going to tell me that they couldn't take Kaepernick, given that they just gave this other clown $15 million? Kaepernick can go there and win that starting job. Go to another team.
Maybe.
Go to another team.
The Browns. We'll do the AFC North.
Anybody can go to the Browns and get their job.
Well, they just got Brock Osweiler.
I rest my case.
It was just like one of two quarterbacks that Kaepernick outperformed last year.
And he can do it again.
Bengals, no. Steelers, no. Ravens, no. NFC South, Saints, no. Falcons, no. Panthers, no. Buccaneers, no.
Who's the Buccaneers starting quarterback?
Jameis Winston.
Oh yeah, okay. Nobody.
A rapist.
That's yeah.
And what do we got? AFC South, Colts, no. Texans, they don't have a quarterback.
He could go there and compete.
Tom Savage is going to be the starter. We're waiting for Tony Romo to go there, but I think Dallas is trying to... That's the bigger controversy is how come Tony Romo isn't getting a starting job?
The reason
that
he's
guy's
not
elite.
Because there's two things working there. If you don't trade for him...
37 years old.
But if you don't trade for him, you don't have to assume that contract that he's got. If you wait for him to release him and stuff, then you get to sign him to whatever contract he'll agree to. You don't have to give him, what does he do, this $20 million?
Probably.
$20 million?
Yeah.
He ain't worth $20 million. So, but if you trade for him, you take that contract. If you wait for him to cut him, then you get to negotiate whatever contract you want.
If I'm Houston, I'm giving up a first-round pick for him.
What?
We're going to talk about...
I already told you you're not a good GM anyway.
Oh, God. We go... I'm a Houston Texan now. We go from 40 to 1 odds to 15 to 1 odds just from speculation that Romo might go to the Texans. Now we're going to talk about the Romo.
And you give up a first-round draft pick for somebody who might be available for 4 games.
Well, he took a whole year off. Peyton Manning took a whole year off, and well,
he is not Peyton Manning. He's never.
Nobody is.
He's never done nothing except lose.
He's the highest-rated quarterback in fourth quarter in NFL history.
How many Super Bowls have he won?
Well, he's on the Cowboys.
How many
what have they done?
Super Bowls have he made it to?
He only has 1 playoff win.
How many
He got robbed of another
NFC
one.
NFC championship games have he made it to?
All right, let's finish up the Kaepernick. Let's see. NFC East, Cowboys, no. Eagles, no. Redskins got Kirk Cousins for another year. And the Giants still have Eli Manning. AFC East,
nobody.
Patriots, no. Bills, they got Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, he could compete there.
Dolphins, Tannehill.
Could compete there.
Tannehill's the start. You think Kaepernick...
I'm just saying who he could compete with.
Oh, brother.
I know
that
a Dolphin
career,
fan. I know a Dolphin fan.
That career is over.
And you know him too, and he ain't that thrilled with Kaepernick. I mean with Tannehill.
It's done.
Okay.